a double question. Very different.
Sorry.
That's cool. We can roll with it. Seth from the Succubus series wears like wacky t-shirts. Those who don't know it, they're always like 80s bands and weird pop culture stuff. I don't know. It's my same lame answer. That's how the story goes. That's how his character is. I kind of like him being this sort of just very casual guy. Very often the romantic lead in stories is very dashingly dressed, and I have a lot of those within the books. But I wanted him to just kind of be this. He's a very oblivious author type sometimes. We're not even sure if he brushes his hair sometimes because he's so into his writing world. So the t-shirts just kind of evolved from that. And how are the tattoos pronounced? I'm told by a Russian speaker. I do not speak Russian, so every pronunciation that's Romanian or Russian in these books I'm guessing at. She tells me it's Volnia. The J is silent. Thank you. She's born in Russia, so I assume she's not lying to me, but you never know. she could be playing me. Yeah. All right, we'll let you go.
I just want to ask, Rose seems to have like this ongoing fight with religion, and I think I remember Georgiana did too. So I don't know if you can tell me, does she find religion? I don't know if that's something you can tell me, or
does Rose find religion? It's not so much about her probably ever coming to terms I suddenly she does. She makes these promises with God all the time. Yeah. Did anyone see Lady Hawk? It came out before half of you were born. But yeah, Matthew Broderick's character is always making these deals with God. If you get me out of this, I swear I'll do this. And then later he's like, but I'm a liar, God. So Rose is a little like that. I wouldn't say Rose is eventually going to decide on a big religion to join. But I think a lot of people are always struggling with their own faith and spirituality and their place in the universe. And so she's kind of like that too. So it's supposed to always kind of be a struggle with her. It's not a mockery of religion. It's just, I think she's confused like a lot of people are. That's an editing error that went through because when you think about it, what the elements do, water always seems like kind of useless. It's not useless, but with air you can suffocate people, and fire is obvious, because you can set them on fire. But water is kind of what do you do? Yeah, it's supposed to be water. That's interesting. That's something that's a mistake in Shadow Kiss. It happens. It happens. I got one coming up in Spirit Bound, which is a big problem for me. But yeah, we'll deal with that later. That's my problem, not yours. Yeah. Right there. Who are some of my favorite authors? I'll give some old ones and then some contemporary ones, you guys know. I grew up with brothers who were making me watch Flash Gordon when I was little, playing Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. So my favorite books, if anyone knows the Dragonlance series, again I'm speaking to the older half of my audience here. Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, I love them. And for any of you who are upset when people die randomly or the book ends on a cliffhanger, it's totally their fault. Because they do that in their books, and so I grew up with this idea that you tell a series, you can kill somebody off at the end and it's cool. That's how I learned to tell stories. They're fantastic authors. Nowadays, when I have time to read, probably my favorite author, and it's funny because she's a friend of mine, is Richelle Mead. Yeah, so she writes for adults anyway, so there's something for everyone. Her young adult series is about vampires, more to kill vampires. Fantastic series, and then her adult stuff is the Weather Woman series, which is also great. And actually, it could be easily YA. I don't think it's that graphic. So she's probably my favorite right now. Okay. You know what? I've ignored this whole thing.
As a teacher, were there any teachers that inspired you or did something special to make you start the role?
Are there any teachers that inspired me to make me who I am today? I think all your teachers have an effect on you to a certain extent. You know, I'm not sure you can pinpoint one who had the effect, but I did have one English teacher in high school, and he was like the cool hip teacher. Like he had like long hair and wore cowboy boots, and like had apparently like gotten in a fight with Ted Nugent back in the '70s. He was that kind of teacher, but he was also a really literary guy, and he was very supportive of just all of the students, and he saw that I liked to write. Back then I could never finish things, but he still always encouraged it. And now when I see him, he's very, I don't want to say emotional, but you can just see he's so excited that I publish books, and I send them to my old high school when I remember to give him a new copy. So is that our questions? She'll give you some directions on signings. As you come up, I'll add real quickly. I have some goodies to hand out. We got all these postcards. Everyone can grab one because I think there's tons. The others, and you're going to have to control yourself, we got two things. We have Vampire Academy temporary tattoos, and we have the infamous color-changing pencils, which are often talked about on my blog. We can only have one per person because we don't have enough. So make your call. Make your call between the tattoo or the pencil. Okay, everybody.